Hello, this is, I just wanted to kind of get on. I'm trying a different camera with a different microphone. We'll see whether that improves the volume this time. Let's see if I can get a game. Fingers crossed. Excellent. Oh, I'm black again. Queen's Pawn openings. I really need to get like decent repertoire against Queen's Pawn openings. They're really tiresome. Queen's Gambit. I definitely don't wish to accept it. Do I get my bishop out? So this is something that I don't actually know about the Queen's Gambit, right? Like, am I meant to just throw a knight up here? I don't know. I think just supporting here is bad because it blocks in the queenside bishop. I know that this is playable because I've done it before and it was stupidly good fun, but I forget like what it even was. I'm just going to get this knight out and we're going to see how that goes. When in doubt, get your piece out. Oh, excellent. Just lock that position straight up. Removes the possibility of c5, which is the normal break that I go for in Queen's Pawn openings. But I think just develop and look for e5, and after capture, I think I'm doing fine. I guess what I'm concerned about now would be this. Ah, bingo. So this is not going to come as a happiness. I mean, I could play for the fianchetto over here, but I just don't see it. Like, I'm just not good enough to really know how to play from a fianchetto bishop, you know? It'd be an incredibly strong structure, but there's so much material tied up there that, like, how do I even proceed? Although I haven't said that, a fianchetto dark square bishop would target this thing, wouldn't it? But then what? It would also give me some support on e5. Heck it. Heck this straight to pop. Gonna be playing for this to give me an extra piece supporting this diagonal. Now what to do with old Lighty. Queensidey. It's worth noticing that I'm slightly more developed than my opponent, but with it being a queen pawn opening, I can't imagine that's going to make too much difference. I'm very tempted by right there looking for this. I think king's safety should come first. It just feels like gambling away with my knight while my king is in the center of the board. It's just unwise. My opponent's playing a lot of pawn moves here. So let's see, what do I have left to accomplish still? This bishop needs a perch. Play this bishop here, I imagine we're going to get that. I think I'm going to fight now. What I'm looking at is rook over so that it's opposing the king. My queen and my bishop are still trapped in. But after that, then this, hoping for a capture and a swap. This knight will, move somewhere. So now we've got a knight over here, we've got these two missing and this pawn here. And then my move would be there with a tempo on the knight. There is no tempo on the knight because the knight is protected. Okay, good. I just like what this does. Maybe the queen should have gone there instead and had the queen opposing the king. Too late now. What you got, opponent? Where you at, home slice? Gonna come out here? Is that your plan? Doesn't really matter, because then I'm gonna go there. Oh, that pins this pawn, doesn't it? That feels natural for my opponent. Maybe I should have looked at that for a while. I mean, the classic way to play against this this dark square bishop fianchetto is to double up. So you have a queen bishop battery all the way down here, and that way you can swap it off and the main king's defender is gone. With that, we now have two defenders here, right? So let's see whether this works. Move that out there. I just keep assuming this will be capture, capture. Right, capture, capture. And then this needs to do something. Might not be, but I can evaluate that in a second. But what does that leave me as far as this square here? It gives me 1, 2, 3 pieces versus 1, 2. And this knight will potentially have had to move anyway. So what if I move up here? So knight to e4. What other options does this knight have? Can stay there, play a different move. Maybe e3. If that happens, am I jazzed about capturing? No, I'm kind of jazzed about just pushing this. This is what I've been playing towards. I'm going to do it. It's a lovely day outside. Clear blue skies. You know, kind of day that makes you glad to be alive. The reinforcing happened. Okay, cool. Does this still work then? Right there. Let's assume capture. Let's not assume capture. Right there, here. What then? Do I double up against it? I think so. Been playing for this push for a while now. My opponent's pawns are telling to play on the queen side, so I don't see that having a little tussle over here on the king side is going to do me too much harm. What am I missing? What am I missing? defended, defended, undeveloped, defended. We have this, I think I'm one move ahead as far as development goes because I'm castled and my opponent isn't. I still don't quite know what to do with my light square bishop. So this is far too much coffee that I've been drinking. Drank like 6 cups of coffee this morning. Not 6, this size. Each one of these is about twice a cup. I had depended upon the capture to remove a defender. Well, that might have been unwise. Still, I've got to believe that opening lines towards the king when there's an opposing rook has to be a decent idea. There's now 2 attackers on this pawn. 1, 2. Only 1 defender. Let's start the... So now I have 2 defenders on this pawn. Excellent. My opponent captured. Now, if you look at the pawn structure that results out of that, we've got 1, 2, 3 pawn islands and 2 sets of double pawns. They're all around the center, so there's some clear strength in there. But I think I'm doing okay. I think if I can navigate the next few moves, I'll be doing fine. Start out here. Restore the material balance. This was the plan originally, was to try and remove the e5 pawn. I've managed to remove both the pawn that was a center pawn from the e file and a center pawn from the d file. And, nice. Okay. My opponent's panicking a little. I say panicking, that's the wrong word. My opponent has noticed that a central king is more of a liability than an asset right now. This is the only tempo I've got to take advantage of that. Let's see. Let's just do a little calculation for a bit. Let's assume that my opponent were castled. I absolutely have this with that. The queen cannot enter. Oh, capture, you're in check. Recapture, bishop, forking these 2. Seems entirely reasonable, doesn't it? I have a slightly weak king at that point. You gonna give up castling rights for me? Yes! Gave up your right to castle. Do I just win the exchange here and move on with my life, or is there a better move? Here, cannot capture. But what am I actually threatening at that point? So, if here, then here, if nothing else changed on the board, the king would be in check with no way. Oh, the queen would have to block. Is that what that gets? I think so. If I move there and the king comes here, then I can still win the exchange. If I come there and what else? Opponent captures here, for example, then check, bishop. Okay, so check on a6. This bishop on d5 would come to c4, and I can capture. The king can come over to here. I can win the exchange. That doesn't seem like a bad move. If here, then here, and I simply win the exchange. Stark square bishop, giving it up though is going to be painful. Right, okay. Let's win the exchange. Seems fine. I can always push this now. And that drops a rook. Excellent. Maybe this was a bad move. I think this was a bad move. Let's see how fee encountering this bishop turns out. I keep looking at the fact that there's two attackers now right here. And I just wanted to put an extra defender straight on this d5 pawn. I think that's okay. Queen bishop battery. I'm not opposed to exchanges here in principle. Right there. Capture, capture. There's something here. Wait a second. Is there? So right there. Ah, capture. That's unpleasant. Let's get this bishop defended. It seems entirely fair. I do have a weakness right here on c7. I need to calm down and evaluate this sensibly. That last move was made somewhat instinctively. What do I actually have? My opponent has a centralized king. My opponent is defending all of their pieces. I'm defending all of my pieces, so that's good. I have 2 pawn islands versus my opponent's 3. Towards or away from the center. If I capture towards the center, I still have 2 pawn islands. They were hoping for this capture, I believe, so that then they could sweep in and win the exchange back. Now they're still looking to perform that. What have I got against that? That's unpleasant, isn't it? I do have a check. Check undefends the bishop. King presumably back there. If this, then that. That's unpleasant. So what about if this? So rook c8 defends this pawn again. Capture, then capture. Rook c8, drop this pawn. So rook c8 and capture, recapture, because that's fine. Bishop is pinned, so presumably, no, presumably backwards. At which point I would check. So yeah, so rook here, bishop here. Weaken the king, he'll be fine. You know what's going to come next is this, isn't it? Dark squares are awfully weak. Capture, pin, capture, take. Okay. I think that was the right move. Now then. Pin, right? Pin. Oh, you dark square bishop, with your weaknesses that you're introducing to me. You're so hard to fight. Yes, okay. Excellent. Yeah, and do I just capture this pawn? Do I insert a check? Then what? The capture, and I'm better, right? What if I check and they send that back? Then what can I do? I just want you around. I just need you around. Oh, when in doubt, steal a pawn. What the hecky thump. Huh. Okay, so presumably that was performed so that I can't remove this with check and prevent the capture of this pawn. Does it matter to me yet? Probably does. Let's see. So I have 2-point advantage against my opponent, but they've been playing well. Let's see what I can do. This pawn can be protected. But it involves leaving a rook on a dark square. Which I think can be accomplished if I play here. Do I even want to deal with that weak pawn now? Let's just start here. I'm far below my opponent on time. Just protect. Goes after this weaker pawn. Does block the rook, which is nice. Pawn is protected already. This bishop going then pleases me greatly. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 before that's finished. This feels like a position where I should just like do something. Could just go back for the threat. Let's start by overprotecting this weaker pawn on f6. Get the king a little bit more active as well. We're at that point of the game. I'm really not sure how to play this now. Save that I would love to trade down material. Would love to trade down material. This is just a bit too much. Rook over. just because I've had this idea already, I'm moving this because it gets me somewhere. I don't think that they're going to play here. Ah, good, pawn play. That I can just accept all day. I almost feel like no, because of this. Yeep. Okay, how do I protect this pawn? Usually one protects pawns with pieces or pawns. I have no pawns to protect it. This bishop can't come here anyway. Thinking about just harassing this bishop a little. See where it ends up. It is actually hanging right now. My opponent might not notice that. Will I trade these and also lose the half tempo and lose the pawn? Well, I guess he can come here. Yeah. So let's see. Capture, capture, rook over, king up. There's no way to preserve that pawn at that point. Three for four makes me a little weaker, but I feel like the pair of rooks has got to be much stronger than those two bishops. Plus, if I move this bishop, I lose this guy. So I'm weakening either way. May as well capture. Let's see. How about the... Kinda looks good, right? I mean, I'll kind of buy that that's okay. You can capture that pawn, but, like, who gives a hoot? So I'm going to put rooks off the board. Oh, that comes with check. Well, heck fire. Heck fire and thumpery. Yeah, is there even anything cunning there? No, there's not. I forgot that that came with check. Okay, so I'm probably losing now. But that's okay. Fight. Just fight on. It's not a problem. There is no quick penetration there onto the back rank, so... Fortify. Fight. That was a hell of a piece drop. Oh, wow. It's going to be okay. It might not be, but it's going to be. My rook should favor the dark squares to kind of take the light square bishop out of the game. If I can have my rook and my king coordinate correctly, and I'm not entirely certain how to do that, then they'll be strong. Do it. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ram this guy right there. That opens me to a check, which I can alleviate going here. Then the rook being here on e4 prevents this push. This can be fine because I can just do it. Oh no, I cannot. Gosh, that was a real screw up. These things happen. Let's just prance around a wee bit, see what the heck goes on. This little dude is a fortress-ish thing, but very weak. A weak fortress is, of course, the best kind of fortress. Let's just stab the bishop a bit. Oh, go away, bishop. I can't believe that I dropped that. Oh wow, and I'm just dead on time as well. I didn't even notice my clock. Well, this is the worst game that I've played in years, isn't it? I actually only started playing again about 10 months ago now. What month is it? Yeah, about 10 months ago now. I hadn't played for years prior to this. So, you know, not actually that surprised that I do things like drop pieces. Just drop them. Just, why even bother having them? There's no point. Like, they just get in the way, right? No, there's no point pushing this. This guy is like the only thing I've really got. And I'm opening myself up to a check here, right? So, this check is coming. If that dude goes there, like, all I've really got then are dancing rook moves. Heck this. Heck this straight to Pupperino. Oh, snap. Just not even trying, am I? At least I'm trying to make it an easy game for my opponent. Yes! Heck you, opponent. Heck you straight to Pup. Let's just go here. Like, heck it. Yeah, none of this mattered anymore. I was clearly destroyed. I do wonder if what I think is the only critical moment in the game is actually the only critical moment in the game or not. Let's see. Don't really want the client-side evaluation yet. Realize this was a long game, so I'm just going to kind of push through. I mean, I've got to believe that I was better in the opening. What does the computer actually think? Yeah, there we go, full pawn up. Well, 0.7 of a pawn. 0.6, which for black, I mean, even half a pawn, it's getting worse as time goes on. Knight to e4. Wow, managed to damage that, didn't I? Let's see, that seemed like such a good move. And e5 and knight takes c3 are kind of competing there. I'll buy that. e5 for the center. Gotta think that this was fine. Still about the same evaluation. About the same. Bish takes e5 was recommended. Knight to f3 with check is the recommended move here. Luckily I spotted that. Do-do-do-do-dat. And there we go. Da-da-da. This, I think, was weakening. I don't think I should have played b6. and it comes out at top. So what the hell do you even do with that? b6, queen here. So what absurd thing did I miss now? Oh, bishop takes a1. It's like literally the best move still. Did it? You know, if I'm just going to be playing through and watching a computer, I may as well just ask it to pre-calculate everything. Hang out with me for just a minute while Stockfish calculates everything. I think about switching to Lichess, just because I understand. I've never used Lichess before, but I understand that it's free Stockfish browser implementation is somehow better than using the free thingy one. Sorry, something just caught my attention on the evaluation here. Apparently I lost all advantage right there. That's incredible. I was overwhelming and I gave it up. Literally the move after the last one that I looked at. This is a habit that I've been in, of like not realizing that that I'm only a move away from the actual critical position. It's why I prefer doing my analysis by, I'll write down all the moves on a pad and then pull out a board and actually evaluate my online games in person. Because it feels like I'm forced to actually encounter the real positions there, whereas looking with a computer, like, it fools you into thinking that you're actually doing something. So right here, try not to look at that stuff on the side. I lost... so hang on. So I lost some evaluation here. I'm not looking at the sidebar. I'm trying my level best not to see it, even though I know the answer's right there. But looking at this, it looks like queen here comes with a tempo on the rook. So if I have that tempo on the rook, what do I get out of that? Rook moves. Okay, so let's assume rook moves back to here. What do I have now that I didn't have? I can pull the light square bishop up. That wins a tempo against the queen. Right there, though. Right, so queen here, rook must move, but now d5 is hanging. So maybe push? That drops this rook, right? Oh! Queen here. Okay, so no, undo that. Okay, so queen here comes with a tempo on this rook, which you can see, but this e3 pawn is pinned, so the bishop is hanging as well. I missed that, didn't I? Is that what it is? Let's see. Queen to f6. Bish takes on d5. Pawn up. To protect the rook. Oh, and the pawn is guarded by the queen. And the white rook and the white bishop are still hanging. Bishop with check, capture, makes total sense. Does queen go to b3 maybe? Oh, c4 with check. Moves the... Ah, I can come back with an attack. Now that bishop is not hanging, but that's fine, I can just trade there. Interesting. So what's the evaluation in this position? Oh, I'm not going to get there. This video's gone on long enough. Thank you very much for watching. Next game, I hopefully won't drop a rook.